In the year 2022, a 20-year-old woman, Raquah Paulette King, moved from her home in South Florida to Hampton, Virginia, so that she can settle down with her 27-year-old boyfriend, Emmanuel Dwayne Coble, who worked as a junior grade lieutenant in the U.S. Navy. Their relationship was perfect at first, but later on, Raquah found out that she was pregnant for her boyfriend, Emmanuel. She was so happy that she would soon become a mother, so she informed her boyfriend that they were expecting a child. When her boyfriend heard the pregnancy news, he was so frustrated because he didn't want to become a father, so he convinced her to abort the pregnancy. And on 20th July 2022, when Raquah was 3 months pregnant, he took her to a clinic and paid money for her to abort the pregnancy. But suddenly, Raquah changed her mind and refused to abort the pregnancy. Emmanuel was so frustrated with his pregnant girlfriend for refusing to get rid of their baby, so he drove her back to their apartment, and that night, he shot her to death. Their unborn baby also died in the process. He then placed the body in his car and discarded it at the intersection of Winds Church Road and Greenwood Road in a ditch line in Hanover County, Virginia, which was at the north of Richmond. He then fled away from the crime scene. Is refusing to abort the pregnancy punishable by death? Truly, it was so wicked for Emmanuel Dwayne Coble, a U.S. Navy soldier who was protecting his country, to murder his pregnant girlfriend for protecting the life of her unborn baby. This is the story of Raquah Paulette King. Raquah Paulette King was born in the year 2002 in South Florida. She was the youngest child among her siblings, and her father was known as Gregory King. Raquah went to North Park High School in Opa-locka. After high school, she worked as a hairstylist, and she also did tattoos as she pursued a career in college. Later on, while in South Florida, she met a 27-year-old man named Emmanuel Dwayne Coble. Emmanuel was a junior grade lieutenant in the U.S. Navy, and he was based in Virginia. Fortunately, he was not living at the Navy base. Soon, the two fell in love with each other, and they started dating. Raquah and her boyfriend moved to Hampton, Virginia, where they settled down. Soon, Emmanuel was stationed in Norfolk, and he got assigned to the USS John C. Stennis, a nuclear-powered subcarrier. His relationship with his girlfriend Raquah was perfect at the start, and later on, Raquah found out that she was pregnant, and so she informed her boyfriend, Emmanuel, about it. Emmanuel was not ready to be a father yet, so he was not happy with his girlfriend being pregnant for him, and so he convinced Raquah to abort the pregnancy. So on the 20th July 2022, when Raquah was 12 weeks pregnant, he took her to a clinic and paid money so that she can abort the baby. While at the clinic, Raquah changed her mind and she decided to keep the pregnancy. Her refusal to terminate the pregnancy made Emmanuel to become so frustrated. So while they were outside their car, the two fought about the issue. They then drove back to their apartment. Raquah's decision to keep the pregnancy led to numerous arguments between the couple. Eventually, she got tired of their relationship, and so she decided to leave her boyfriend Emmanuel. Unfortunately, Emmanuel decided to murder his pregnant girlfriend for refusing to do an abortion. So that night, he shot her once at the back, and she died. Unfortunately, her unborn baby also died in the process. He then placed the body in his car and discarded it at the intersection of Winds Church Road and Greenwood Road in a ditch line in Hanover County, Virginia, which was at the north of Richmond. He then fled away from the crime scene so that he can escape with the murder. On the 21st July 2022, at around 7 a.m., someone walking down Winds Church Road saw a body of a black pregnant female lying at the intersection of Winds Church Road and Greenwood Road in a ditch line in Hanover County, Virginia, which was at the north of Richmond, so the person called 911. Soon, Hanover County sheriff officers arrived at the scene. They discovered that the woman had been shot to death. The body was taken for the autopsy, and the medical examiner identified the victim as a 20-year-old Raquah Paulette King. And she died after being shot once at her back. The unborn baby inside her womb also died. The police immediately started investigating the murder of Raquah Paulette King and her unborn baby. They questioned the neighbors who lived around the crime scene, but unfortunately, they all said that they heard nothing on the night the body was discarded there. As time went by, the the police began looking into the lives of those who were close to Raquah Paulette King, and that is when they learned that she had a U.S. Navy soldier boyfriend named Emmanuel Dwayne Coble. So they brought him in for questioning. During the questioning, Emmanuel lied to the police that he was Raquah's landlord and that he had not seen her since July 19th, 2022. However, at that time, the police didn't find any evidence that could implicate Emmanuel in Raquah's murder, so they let him go for the time being. However, later on, the investigators received a tip that on July 20th, Emmanuel and his 3 months pregnant girlfriend, Raquah, had visited a clinic so that they can do an abortion, and that the surveillance footage of the clinic had caught them. So the investigators went to the clinic to do more investigations. They discovered that Emmanuel had paid the abortion money, but Raquah had changed her mind and refused to do the abortion. The investigators had access to the surveillance footage of the clinic, and as they were analyzing the footage, they saw Emmanuel and Raquah at the clinic premise, but shortly after they left. After watching the surveillance footage, investigators identified Emmanuel as their prime suspect, so they went back and questioned him again concerning the murder of his 3 months pregnant girlfriend, Raquah Paulette King. Emmanuel told police that he paid the money for his girlfriend's abortion at the clinic after taking her there. He also added that he was frustrated when Raquah changed her mind and refused to abort the pregnancy, so he drove her back to her apartment. He then went to his apartment that night, where he fell asleep and he only woke up in the morning. He added that he, too, was shocked to learn about the murder of his 3 months pregnant girlfriend, Raquah Paulette King. The investigators still had their eyes firmly on Emmanuel Dwayne Coble as they continued investigating him. They found blood in the trunk of his car and a hairband that matched the one found on Raquah's wrist during her autopsy. When the blood was tested, they found Emmanuel's DNA, and they immediately knew that he was the one who murdered his girlfriend, Raquah Paulette King. They also learned that Emmanuel had earlier on lied to them that he was Raquah's landlord, and the last time he saw her was on 19th July 2022. On the 11th August 2022, Emmanuel Dwayne Coble was arrested in Hampton by the police with the help from the Hampton Police Department, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, NCIS, and the Virginia State Police. He was charged with first-degree murder of his 3 months pregnant girlfriend, Raquah Paulette King, and their unborn baby. He was also charged with the use of a firearm during the felony. Emmanuel was then transported to Hanover County for his arraignment at Hanover General District Court. He went on trial for the murder of Raquah Paulette King and her unborn baby at Hanover General District Court. His attorney did not offer any evidence during the hearing, but he told the judge that his client, Emmanuel Dwayne Coble, was a U.S. Navy lieutenant and he had no criminal records. Therefore, he asked the judge to give him a bond. Unfortunately, the judge denied Emmanuel a bond. Emmanuel did not enter a plea deal for the murder of his girlfriend, Raquah Paulette King, and her unborn baby, and he is awaiting his verdict. Emmanuel was such a wicked soldier. He should have left his girlfriend Raquah when she refused to abort the pregnancy instead of murdering her and their innocent unborn baby. May Raquah Paulette King and her unborn baby rest in peace, and we hope that the two will get the justice that they deserve for their untimely death at the hands of a man who could have protected them the way he was protecting his country. Thank you for supporting us by liking our videos, commenting on them, and sharing them. As of today, we have reached 2,000 subscribers, and this would not have been possible without you. We appreciate you guys so much, and please continue subscribing and turning on the notification bell for alerts on our new uploaded videos.